The man's reckless move aligned perfectly with the spirit of a gambler, triggering a 1 in a million chance to unlock a hidden class. He successfully transitioned into the legendary hidden class, the Gambler. Not only did he manage to save his friend, a combat trainee on the verge of death, he even won over his strict instructor's sister, who just happened to be a healer class beauty. His name is Jiang Kai, and right now, he's undergoing the rookie trial on a planet known as Ghostar. Ghostar first appeared 500 years ago, an enormous celestial body that suddenly emerged near Earth. Miraculously, its arrival didn't throw the planet off orbit. But ever since Ghostar showed up, Earth's plants and animals began to mutate into savage beasts known as beast gods, creatures that ravage civilization. These beast gods were completely beyond the reach of human technology, forcing mankind into a desperate fight for survival. As humanity struggled through the dark years, mysterious portals began appearing across the globe. Anyone who stepped through would be digitized and transferred into Ghostar. And the moment they set foot on Ghostar, they realized they were inside a hyper-realistic digital world. In this world, humans could take on various combat classes. Once a class is chosen, they gain stats, skills, and gear, just like a game character, leveling up through battle and becoming stronger. But the real game changer? Power earned on Ghostar could eventually be brought back to Earth and used in real life. In the real world, humans had started gaining powers similar to what they unlocked on Ghostar, strong enough to face the beast gods head-on. At this point, the only way to survive in this apocalyptic era was to harness strength from Ghostar. Those who braved the journey to this strange world became known as explorers. As long as they brought the proper class change material, survived for 5 minutes on Ghostar, and completed the rookie trial, they would automatically gain a new class. Jiang Kai was one of them. But the moment his trial began, he was thrown into a nightmare. Ahead of him, an endless abyss. Behind him, a man-faced beast giving relentless chase. That's the brutal reality of Ghostar. Even surviving a single minute here was nearly impossible for a normal person. And now, there was no escape. Jiang Kai was the only one still alive. Gritting his teeth in frustration, he couldn't accept this fate. He'd sacrificed everything to come here. Was it all just for a meaningless death? He thought of his brother and sister, who had given up everything just to help him make it to Ghostar. His little sister had suffered so much, far beyond her years, just to afford his trip. And his older brother, terminally ill, yet still working like hell, just to save enough for a life-saving surgery within 2 months. And now, not only had Jiang Kai failed to gain a class, he had burned through his family's last hope, just to sit here and die. Suddenly, a bone-chilling cackle echoed from behind. The man-faced beast lunged at Jiang Kai, swinging its weapon with terrifying force. As it sliced through the air, Jiang Kai felt the space around him freeze. It was like death itself was descending. No, he wasn't going to die here. If he was going down, he'd do it betting everything on one last shot, for his family. Clenching his jaw, Jiang Kai threw himself off the cliff, gambling on the only slim chance of survival. And then ding! A cold, emotionless system voice rang out. Congratulations. You've triggered a 1 in a million probability. Hidden class unlocked. Welcome to your new role, Gambler. Time passed. Jiang Kai coughed violently and slowly regained consciousness. He struggled to his feet, confused he hadn't died. In fact, all of his injuries had completely healed. Before he could make sense of it, a burst of light flared in front of him. Ghostar's central AI interface appeared, hovering in the air. Class transfer complete. Base stats have been refreshed. You are now fully restored, the AI reported. Now activating core talent of your hidden class, Gambler. Skill unlocked. Double down. All system rewards or penalties you receive will be doubled. Additionally, you have a 1% chance to trigger Super Double Down, multiplying rewards or penalties by 10. Talent multiplier activated. Because you triggered the double down ability while receiving it, your talent slots have been doubled. You have now unlocked a second-class talent. 39. Jiang Kai trembled with excitement. Most people only got 1 talent after a class change, but he had just scored 2. Here is your second talent and current status. The AI continued. Talent, super critical. Your critical hits deal 200x damage. Initial crit chance, 0.1%. Explorer level 1 Jiang Kai class. Gambler strength, 4 constitution, 8 dexterity, 12 spirit, 12 talents. Double down, super critical. Thanks to double down, even his base stat rewards had been doubled. Jiang Kai's grin widened. Normally, new explorers started with around 20 total attribute points, but he had 36. And when it came to leveling up, the average player got 10 points per level, but he got 20. Each level up for him was like gaining 2 levels at once. Add in the super critical talent. While most players could only deal 2x damage on a crit, his would do a mind-blowing 200x. Sure, his current crit rate was only a sad 0.1%, but once he found a way to raise it, his damage would be completely off the charts. For the first time, Jiang Kai let out a relieved sigh. Originally, all he wanted was to secure a basic class and earn enough money on GoStar to fund his brother's surgery. Even the weakest classes here earned far more than anyone on Earth. But now, by sheer luck, he had unlocked a hidden powerhouse class. Maybe, just maybe, he could raise the money faster than he ever imagined and finally give his family the life they deserved. Jiang Kai quickly pulled up the beginner mission panel. Turns out, completing the class change was just the first step. The real trial was only beginning. Mission objective: reach the end of the trial zone, Sanctum City, within 7 days. Easier said than done. The trial zone was crawling with monsters, and one death meant instant failure, followed by a forced return to Earth. Sure, dying on GoStar didn't hurt your physical body back on Earth, but logging back in required a massive amount of money. The rich could afford to die and try again. But Jiang Kai, he only had this one shot. Just getting here had already drained his entire family's savings. Suddenly, his body froze. Up ahead, a scream tore through the air, a gut-wrenching, soul-shaking shriek. And somehow backslash, it sounded painfully familiar. A chill ran down his spine. It was him, Jiang Kai's old friend, Yuan Zhu. Despite being a towering hulk of a man, Yuan Zhu was flailing his fists wildly in panic. Fear had pushed his punches to inhuman speeds. Jiang Kai gulped. It really was Zhuzi. He'd actually made it to GoStar too. Surrounding him were 3 massive land serpents, each one covered in glowing blue scales, dripping with deadly venom. Even a man-faced beast wouldn't survive a single bite. And yet, without a second thought, Jiang Kai let out a roar and sprinted forward, diving headfirst into danger to save his friend. Hearing the noise, Yuan Zhu spun around. When he saw who it was, his jaw dropped. Jiang Kai, what are you doing here? Forget me, just run. Those land serpents have crazy stats and deadly venom. We're only level 1. There's no way we can beat them. But Jiang Kai's gaze was ice cold and unwavering. Without hesitation, he struck first, hurling his staff like a bolt of lightning. In the next instant, the staff shot straight through the serpent, lunging at Yuan Zhu. With a sickening crunch, it dropped dead on the spot, leaving Yuan Zhu completely stunned. After taking down the first serpent, Jiang Kai smirked slightly. He had used Yuan Zhu as a distraction and struck from behind. The tactic had worked perfectly, but that move also drew the full aggro from the remaining serpents. Now, both were locked onto him. Seeing the shift, Yuan Zhu's heart leapt. Watch out, these snakes are seriously fast. But Jiang Kai didn't panic. He weaved through their strikes with strange, awkward-looking movements, yet he dodged every attack. Yuan Zhu was floored. He's actually dodging all of that. It was Jiang Kai's first fight with land serpents, but he remained calm. Thanks to his class's double stats, his level 1 agility rivaled that of a level 2 explorer. These serpents may have been quick, but they were no match for him. Moving swiftly behind Yuan Zhu, Jiang Kai called out, "You keep drawing their attention. I'll finish them off." In a flash of cold light, both serpents collapsed to the ground. Yuan Zhu just stood there stunned. He'd barely run a loop, and somehow, Jiang Kai had already wiped out both snakes. Jiang Kai pulled up his system panel, eyes wide. He was supposed to be an agility-based class, yet somehow, he had just one-shot a level 1 monster. That steel spike he picked up from the man-faced beast, maybe it would play a crucial role during the beginner trial. Suddenly, Yuan Zhu threw himself forward and wrapped him in a massive bear hug. "Dude, newbies are supposed to get eaten, not wipe out monsters. How the hell did you do that?" Jiang Kai quickly pushed him off, wincing. "Easy, man. I think you cracked a few ribs. I just got lucky. I landed a hidden class, gambler. But seriously, don't tell anyone." Yuan Zhu gave a big goofy grin. "I don't know what that is, but mine's not bad either. Level 1 explorer, base class, martial trainee, strength 8, constitution 8, agility 5, spirit 5. No one really knew how many different classes existed on GoStar, but one thing was certain. Every explorer's first goal was to class up, and that class change? It all depended on the job material you brought with you when you logged into GoStar. The rich could spend tens of millions on high-tier materials and start with god-tier classes right away. Classes like brutal close combat fighters, fully armored juggernauts, or stealthy assassins lurking in the shadows. But poor folks? They had to make do with cheap, bottom-tier materials. That usually meant weak classes, and sometimes even random ones. The two of them quickly packed up the serpent corpses. Word was, monster parts could fetch a decent price on Ghost Star. In fact, anything you killed here, be it a body or gear, would transform into collectible cards you could sell or trade. From that fight alone, Jiang Kai could already tell. His gambler class might even outperform the martial trainee. Just then, someone emerged from the trees up ahead. Instinctively, both of them stepped back alert. "My name's Su Nuanyuan," the girl said. "It's tough surviving the trial alone. Can I join your team?" Jiang Kai rejected her without hesitation. "We're barely surviving as is. Adding you would just make things harder." But before he could finish, Su Nuanyuan stepped forward quickly. "Please don't leave me. My class is doctor. I can heal you, and if we run into more of those snakes, I can extract their venom to enhance your weapons." That caught Jiang Kai's attention. A class that could both heal and weaponize poison? That was one of the top 10 advanced classes. And in this trial zone, healing was a rare commodity. If not for his instant full heal during class change, he might have died earlier. He let out a quiet sigh. "I'm Jiang Kai. That's Yuan Zhu. Fine, you're in. Let's head for Sanctum City together." Meanwhile, back on Earth, base number 18 of the Ghost Stargate network, located in Jiangzhou City, Saint Light Nation. Inside the data lab, a researcher nodded in satisfaction. "These new wristbands are great. They're giving us precise real-time tracking on every explorer inside Ghost Star." Just then, Su Lanlan entered, the trial instructor and Su Nuanyuan's older sister. "Professor Lee, how are the rookies doing? And what about my sister?" Professor Lee pulled up the screen. "Looks like a lot of the newbies have already been eliminated, but your sister, Su Nuanyuan, seems to have teamed up with two others." Su Lanlan's eyes went wide. "What? I told her over and over. Rookies should never team up. In the beginner zone, the more people gather in one place, the higher the chance of attracting monsters. Get a trauma counselor ready. I'm going in to bring Nuanyuan back right now." But Professor Lee raised a hand. "Wait, she's not dead. And those two man-faced beasts heading toward them? I think they just got taken out." The entire lab erupted. "No way. That's impossible." Just 3 minutes ago, the two beasts had caught the scent of human prey and launched into a full-speed charge of the trio. The three knew they stood no chance. All they could do was run for their lives. Jiang Kai, being the fastest, managed to pull ahead, but the other two were moments away from being caught. That's when he suddenly stopped. Without hesitation, he shouted back, "You two, keep running." Yuan Zhu instinctively started to stop too. But before he could say anything, Jiang Kai yelled again, "Go. I'll hold them off. If we keep running like this, all three of us are dead." Now it was all up to him. Jiang Kai had no choice but to stay behind and take a gamble. Could he kill both monsters on his own? SHK. His steel spike plunged deep into the body of one of the man-faced beasts. Jiang Kai's heart surged. "I hit it. Maybe this can work." But the next moment, a massive hand came crashing down toward his face. Boom. The impact was deafening. Raw power sent his body flying like a rag doll. No, it wasn't enough. These beasts had way too much HP. With his current stats, a one-hit kill just wasn't possible. The two man-faced beasts didn't give him a second to breathe. Cackling wildly, they lunged at him again. Jiang Kai clenched his teeth, unwilling to give in. "Is this it? Is this how my rookie trial ends?" Not far away, Yuan Zhu and Su Nuanyuan hadn't fled very far. The fear that gripped their souls now left them paralyzed, shaking uncontrollably. Meanwhile, back on Earth, in Jiangzhou City's residential district, Yuan Zhu's mother was serving tea to the mysterious benefactor who'd given her son the martial trainee job material. "I don't know what you see in my boy. He might look tough, but he's actually a coward. If he sees a monster, he'll probably freeze up." The stranger nodded calmly. "It's true. He fears danger more than most. But what you don't see is, when someone needs help, that boy won't run. And when he fights for others, he's stronger than anyone." At the very moment Jiang Kai was about to be overwhelmed, Yuan Zhu made his move, charging like a tank, slamming straight into both man-faced beasts with a roar. Yuan Zhu raised his fists and shouted, "Jiang Kai, you think I'm some coward, so you're gonna play the hero and protect me? Am I not your brother? If we're brothers, we live together or die together." With a roar, he pushed off with both legs and shot forward. Bam! His fist smashed straight into the man-faced beast's chest with a heavy thud. Jiang Kai's eyes widened in disbelief. What the hell? Where did that power come from? That kind of impact? There's no way that's normal for a level 1 martial trainee. As he reeled in shock, a warm, soothing energy began to surge through his body. He turned and saw Su Nuanyuan standing firm, hands glowing as her healing spell took effect. "You're not a combat class. Why'd you come back?" he asked, stunned. Su Nuanyuan's eyes were unwavering. "I'm a doctor. When there's a wounded teammate, I don't run, no matter how scared I am." Her father had died years ago in a beast wave, all because there had been no healers to support the front line. Now my teammates are in danger too. There's no way I'm abandoning you. The healing energy poured into Jiang Kai's body. He was shocked to find all his injuries had been completely restored. Rising to his feet, he let out a half laugh. "You two really don't know what fear is, huh? But even with all three of us, we still don't have the damage to take these monsters down." Just then, something clicked in his mind. Su Nuanyuan had mentioned earlier. She could extract venom from those snakes and use it to boost their weapon's attack power. The idea struck Jiang Kai like lightning. He quickly pulled out the land serpent card. "Nuanyuan, you said earlier you could extract snake venom, right? I need you to heal Yuan Zhu with one hand and infuse my weapon with poison using the other. Can you handle it?" Su Nuanyuan didn't hesitate. "Leave it to me," she shouted. It was her first time trying dual casting, but she extended both hands, left hand healing, right hand extracting venom. If Jiang Kai was right, this was their only shot. He couldn't take another direct hit from the man-faced beasts. But Yuan Zhu could. His damage might not be high, but with Nuanyuan's buffs and heals, he could serve as the perfect tank. A healer, a tank, and a damage dealer. Together, the three of them were the classic RPG team setup. Just then, the venom infusion completed. His steel spike now gleamed with a deadly, bluish glow. Jiang Kai didn't waste a second. "Juzi, lock one of them down for me," he shouted as he charged. So what if they were just rookies? As long as they worked as a unit, each playing their role, even the infamous man-faced beast could be taken down. In one swift strike, Jiang Kai's spike pierced straight through the creature's skull. Its massive body collapsed to the ground with a thunderous thud. System notification. Congratulations. You have slain a man-faced beast. EXP gained. 2 points. The three stood there, breathing heavily, eyes wide with adrenaline and triumph. They had actually done it. The second man-faced beast let out a deep, guttural roar as it saw its companion fall. But the three standing before it, their eyes met, and with silent confidence, they charged together. Meanwhile, back at Base 18, chaos erupted. What? Both man-faced beasts were killed. By just 3 rookies? How's that even possible? A spectacled researcher stared in disbelief. It couldn't have been Su Nuanyuan or Yuan Zhu. Then was it that boy, Jiang Kai? But why can't we see his class info? Back on Ghost Star, the trio collected the beast corpses, storing them as loot cards. Then they all collapsed on the ground, laughing like kids, relief and victory washing over them. Suddenly, Su Nuanyuan raised a tiny fist. "With our strength and teamwork, we should be able to reach the trial's endpoint easily now, right?" Jiang Kai slowly sat up. "No need to rush. You see, at the end of the trial, they post a rookie leaderboard based on points. And the top 3 get special equipment rewards from military. We've got plenty time left. Why not go farm some extra points and snag that loot while we're at it?" A moment later, Jiang Kai casually shoved Yuan Zhu into the bushes. "Jiang Kai, you traitor. I thought we were brothers. Why am I the bait?" Jiang Kai just laughed. "Relax. Martial trainees are basically walking meat shields. Plus, Nuanyuan's healing you on standby. You're basically unkillable." And just like that, with flawless teamwork, they wiped out every venomous serpent in the area. A day later, Jiang Kai successfully reached level 2. His total attribute points? An astounding 56. Yuan Zhu's jaw practically hit the floor. "Wait, what? A normal level up gives like 10 points. How is this even possible?" Su Nuanyuan looked utterly stunned. 56. That's stronger than all 4 of us combined. Jiang Kai quickly explained. "It's just the gambler class trait. Sure, rewards are doubled, but so are the penalties if things go wrong." As Nuanyuan sparkled like a full-on fangirl, the familiar AI interface reappeared. "Congratulations. Upon reaching level 2, you would normally unlock 1 skill. However, due to your double down talent, you will receive 2 class skills. Ghost Eye Focus increases visual range and target tracking by 50%. Double spirit consumption while active. Ghost Hand Throw. Thrown objects gain 20% penetration. When using card type items, this bonus increases to 200%. 2 range skills. Clearly, the gambler class was designed for long-distance combat. The trio was fired up and ready to hunt higher-level monsters, when suddenly, an urgent broadcast came from Earth. Attention! Emergency detected in the rookie trial zone. All departments, enter code red alert status immediately. The control room fell into stunned silence as panic swept through the staff. Moments later, an elderly man walked in. It was Wei Ying, Jiangzhou City's top military commander. HQ has confirmed that agents from L Nation have illegally entered our rookie trial zone. This is another infiltration attempt. We must act swiftly. Su Lan stood frozen in place, her expression filled with disbelief. The border crawler was a class unique to L Nation. Under normal rules, high-level players weren't allowed to enter rookie trial zones. But crawlers could bypass that restriction entirely through their class trait, allowing them to force their way into low-level areas. L Nation routinely deployed them to infiltrate foreign rookie zones. There, they used brutal, sadistic methods to massacre beginners, so traumatizing that victims often never dared to log back into Ghost Star again. It was a ruthless tactic to suppress rival nations' player growth. Su Lan slammed her fist against the table. Damn it, why now of all times? Nuanyuan's mental strength is already so fragile. If she runs into those monsters, I don't even want to imagine the consequences. Wei Ying slowly closed his eyes and said grimly, "For this trial, we must be prepared for the worst, even if no one makes it back." Meanwhile, deep within Ghost Star's jungle, Jiang Kai had activated Ghost Eye Focus. His detection range had increased dramatically, paired with the piercing power of Ghost Hand Throw. Even targets hiding 300 meters away could be taken out with a single thrown steel spike. His teammates had already witnessed his deadly accuracy multiple times, yet still couldn't believe their eyes. You're not human, you're a damn monster. But just as the trio was about to move forward, the river beside them suddenly began to churn violently. Several eerie figures leapt out of the river, laughing menacingly as they landed. In the blink of an eye, they had the trio surrounded, forcing them into the center of a tightening ring. Before Jiang Kai could even ask what they wanted, the last one emerged, a yellow-haired punk with a rooster-like haircut. He grinned mockingly. "Don't be scared, we just want to play a little game with you." Su Nuanyuan's eyes widened in horror. You're crawlers from L Nation, aren't you?" Jiang Kai's expression darkened instantly. A quick scan on his wristband confirmed it. Every one of them was level 3 or higher. The rooster head leading them? Level 5. With Jiang Kai's current stats, he could maybe take on a level 4 opponent. But a level 5, unless he could pull off something insane. Without hesitation, he kicked off the ground, shouting for Yuan Zhu and Su Nuanyuan to form a pair and escape in the opposite direction. The crawlers chuckled coldly. Splitting up in the face of death? Pathetic. You can run, you can scream, but none of you are leaving alive today. With a wave of the leader's hand, 2 level 3 crawlers were sent to hunt Jiang Kai, while the rest turned toward Yuan Zhu and Su Nuanyuan with cruel smiles, ready to play. Deep within the jungle, Jiang Kai sprinted at full speed as 2 figures chased him relentlessly. One of them, the spiky-haired guy, frowned. "This brat runs faster than most newbies. But at our pace, we'll catch him in 2.5 minutes tops." But the next second, his expression froze. The figure they'd been chasing just vanished, without a trace. Still, the two didn't think much of it. They assumed the kid was just playing some hide-and-seek game. Suddenly, a metallic whistling cut through the air. A steel spike came hurtling from the shadows. The cross-eyed thug scoffed and raised his sword. "Seriously? A rookie's attack? I could block this with one hand." Boom! Before he could finish, the spike slammed into him like a cannonball. He crashed through 8 thick trees before finally coming to a stop. The spiky-haired thug called out, panicked. "Hey, what the hell was that? Why'd you launch yourself like that?" As the dust cleared, he saw the horrifying truth. His partner was impaled, dead center, through the trunk of a tree. Then a cold voice came from behind him. "One hit, and he's dead? What a pathetic crawler." Alarmed, the thug pulled up Jiang Kai's stats on his wristband. What he saw made his blood run cold. Level 2, but with a total of 56 stat points. "I'm level 3, and I only have 45. How the hell is that fair?" His only answer came in the form of a flurry of wild boar quills, poisoned and flying straight at him. "Sorry," Jiang Kai chuckled darkly. "I've got protagonist privileges. I don't play fair." Turns out, the whole split up and run tactic had been a calculated gamble. He knew the rooster head leader wouldn't chase him personally. With Jiang Kai's current stats rivaling a level 4 explorer, the remaining crawlers were no threat at all. Just then, the system's AI interface appeared again. Congratulations! You've killed 2 level 3 crawlers. You may plunder 100 EXP from each. They will also lose double that amount. Would you like to proceed? Of course I'll plunder. Jiang Kai grinned. He hadn't expected Ghost Star to include such a mechanic. Way more efficient than grinding monsters. In the next instant, the 3 corpses dissolved into streams of glowing energy. His level instantly rose to 3. Jiang Kai couldn't help but smile. His total stats now hit a staggering 76 points. Crawlers, the real hunt starts now. Meanwhile, on the other side, Su Nuanyuan's clothes were in tatters, and Yuan Zhu, in trying to shield her, had been tortured until he was barely recognizable. Surrounded by grinning savages, Su Nuanyuan bit her lip. Zhu, do you think Kai will really come back for us? Yuan Zhu's eyes stayed firm. He will. As long as he's alive, he'll come. The rooster-headed crawler sneered. Still holding on to hope? You too are delusional. Let me show you what real despair feels like. But before he could finish, one of his underlings was suddenly pierced through the chest by an unseen projectile. Yuan Zhu broke into a bloody grin. You bastard. I knew you'd never abandon us. Panic surged across the rooster-headed man's face. He spun around wildly. Who's there? Come out and fight me if you got the guts. Nothing inspires fear like the unknown. And anyone who could easily kill level 3 and 4 crawlers was clearly no weaker than him. The thought alone shattered his nerve. He turned tail and bolted like a madman, abandoning his prey without hesitation. Just then, a shadow emerged from the darkness. Your people can go, but your life stays here. In the next instant, a steel spike shot out like a bolt of lightning, piercing straight through the rooster-headed man's chest. The entire second squad of crawlers was wiped out on the spot. As Jiang Kai stepped out of the jungle, Su Nuanyuan burst into tears and threw herself into his arms. Jiang Kai, quick, check on Zhu. His injuries are too severe. I can't heal him anymore. Yuan Zhu looked at Jiang Kai, eyes filled with tears. Kai, fighting beside you has been the best part of my life. But this time, I might not make it. Don't be sad. Carry my hope and finish the trial. Emotions overflowed. Su Nuanyuan couldn't hold it in anymore. Tears poured down like a flood. But before the mood could settle, Jiang Kai suddenly hurled a dead crawler onto Yuan Zhu. Quit whining, you bastard. I spared 6 crawlers just for you too. Finish them off and you'll level up. Come back with full HP. Yuan Zhu's eyes lit up. His back didn't ache, legs stopped hurting, and he suddenly felt full of energy. Ain't that a damn miracle? He grinned wickedly, eyeing the downed enemies. All right, sweethearts, we're coming for you. Meanwhile, over in L Nation's crawler division, chaos erupted. Players who logged out were traumatized by the pain simulations, some nearly losing their minds. The higher-ups in L Nation were dumbfounded. Their elite crawlers had been massacred so thoroughly, they even began to suspect that Shang Yao had developed a specialized anti-crawler class. At the same time, inside Shang Yao's National Data Research Center, Dr. Liu received real-time battle data transmitted from Su Nuanyuan's smartband. Back at headquarters, Su Lanlan urgently asked for an update. The commander casually sipped his tea, certain that no rookie could possibly survive a run-in with crawlers. But Dr. Liu calmly dropped a bombshell. Not only is Su Nuanyuan still alive, she leveled up. The commander and Su Lanlan both jolted in disbelief. What? Just surviving is rare enough. She leveled up? What's next? Crawlers helping newbies grind monsters. Dr. Liu shook his head. Her first level up could maybe be from killing snakes, but the data shows she jumped 2 levels. There's only one explanation. They wiped out a group of crawlers. Crash. The commander's teacup shattered as he bolted up, practically leaving an afterimage. Quick, pull up the data for Nuanyuan's squad, now. The screen flickered to life, displaying detailed info on both Su Nuanyuan and Yuan Zhu. But Jiang Kai's profile remained a blank slate. After confirming, the commander lit up like a kid at Christmas. Level 3 across the board? That's impossible without killing crawlers. Su Lanlan narrowed her eyes. Nuanyuan's a support class, and Zhu's just a tank. Neither of them could have done the killing. Could it really be Jiang Kai soloing crawlers? That's insane. The commander frowned. My gut says it's him. But why can't we see his class or level? Over in the research lab, Dr. Liu finally pinpointed the issue. He's using the first-generation smartband, practically a relic. The servers for Gen 1 bands were shut down years ago. No maintenance, no network. Makes him practically invisible to the system. Seriously? Who the hell still uses a first-gen smartband in this day and age? The commander, however, looked intrigued. Dig up everything you can on this Jiang Kai, real world included. I want to know exactly who we're dealing with. Meanwhile, after Jiang Kai left the crawlers for his teammates to finish off, Yuan Zhu leveled up twice in a row and hit level 3. Su Nuanyuan also reached level 3 along with him. With the level up came new abilities. Yuan Zhu unlocked Dryland Stomp, a knockback skill, while Nuanyuan got Healer's Heart, which drastically enhanced her healing powers. Yuan Zhu, assuming Jiang Kai was still stuck at level 2, started bragging like he was the MVP. Then Jiang Kai casually flashed his level 4 stats, leaving Yuan Zhu's jaw hanging. Nuanyuan instantly stared at him like he was some kind of god. "So, what's our next move?" she asked starry-eyed. Jiang Kai recalled overhearing that Crawler Squad 1 was also nearby. Without hesitation, he said they should go hunt them next, prompting both teammates to look at him like he'd lost his mind. At the same time, over in Squad 1's camp, the crawlers were laughing at Squad 2's defeat. Huh, useless scrubs. Wiped out by rookies? Embarrassing. Only their captain wore a grim expression. That's not just a rumor. Stay sharp, we might be next. Moments later, Jiang Kai and his team reached the outer perimeter of Squad 1. Yuan Zhu broke into a cold sweat. Kai, are you sure we could take 9 level 5 crawlers? Even Nuanyuan looked ready to back out. But Jiang Kai grinned like a kid about to open presents. Don't worry, even if I can't wipe them out, I can guarantee your safety. So why wait to get jumped when we can strike first? Before they could respond, he'd already launched himself into the fray. The crawler captain froze. Movement, someone's coming. Jiang Kai charged forward at full speed. When the crawlers scanned him with their wristbands and saw he was just level 4, they all smirked. A level 4? Charging 9, level 5s? What a joke. Even the captain relaxed. One overconfident rookie. Take him alive. I want him to feel the difference between level 4 and level 5. With that, the squad lunged. But Jiang Kai didn't engage. He turned and bolted. He had a flawless strategy in mind. But what he didn't expect was how disciplined this group was. They maintained tight formation, making his original plan impossible. So he came to a screeching halt mid-run and pivoted to plan B. Power surged within him. In the next breath, he dashed back toward them. Wait, what? Why is he running at us now? The crawlers were caught off guard. Jiang Kai met the first one head-on. A blade slashed out, carving a bloody gash across his shoulder. But Jiang Kai didn't even flinch. He kept moving forward like a charging bull. The oncoming crawlers hesitated. What the hell was this guy doing? Suddenly, Jiang Kai flipped backward, dodging the first strike, then rolled and spun past the next two like a blur. The entire sequence took just 1 second, clean, fast, precise. He broke through 3 attackers and went straight for the captain. The captain's eyes widened. How the hell is a level 4 evading attacks from 3 level 5s? One of the crawlers stared at his scanner. Boss, something's wrong. I've been tracking him nonstop. Can't get his total stats yet, but his agility, it's showing around 30. The captain was stunned. What? Agility 30? That can't be right. I'm level 5 and barely hit 20 agility. You're telling me a level 4 has 30. Suddenly, it all clicked. The wristband couldn't be that far off. If that number was real, this guy had lured them into a trap. The captain roared, "Damn it. It's a setup. Fall back now." The crawlers scanned their surroundings, but couldn't see where the danger was coming from. Hidden among them, Jiang Kai smirked. A bunch of idiots. Took you long enough to figure it out, but it's already too late. At that moment, a shadow dropped from the sky. Running now? You wish. With a shout, Yuan Zhu smashed the ground, Dryland slam. Boom. The crawlers were launched into the air like ragdolls. Jiang Kai whipped out the iron anchor he'd looted from the wild boar earlier. Nice work, Zhu. Now it's my turn. He dashed forward and hurled the anchor. 1 throw, 9 kills. The crawlers were skewered midair, all wiped out in seconds. That's the terrifying edge of the gambler class's double damage passive, total stat domination. Yuan Zhu's jaw dropped. Holy shit, 9 level 5s gone in 1 shot? Kai, you're a freaking monster. /system. Explorer Jiang Kai has slain 5 crawlers. 2000 EXP acquired. You've hit the EXP cap for the beginner zone. Level up. Reached max level 5. Jiang Kai couldn't believe it himself. He had just hit level 4, and now he was already level 5. These crawlers were basically gift-wrapping EXP for him. Way better than grinding monsters. Turning to his 2 companions, he said calmly, I left 4 low HP crawlers alive. You 2 finish them off. Until now, I've been solo farming for EXP to boost our power. But I've hit the cap. From here on out, I'll be your carry. Hearing that, both of them lit up, pumped and ready to go. Just then, a fat, grotesque rodent popped out of the woods. Its specialty? Tearing off girls' clothes. No female victim ever walked away dressed. Rewind 3 minutes earlier. Jiang Kai's team was heading toward the final trial checkpoint. Suddenly, a loud, beastly roar echoed from up ahead. They rushed toward the sound and found 2 human-faced beasts lying dead on the ground. Those monsters were strong. Whatever killed them had to be something even worse. Jiang Kai activated his ghost vision, scanning the area with sharp focus. As they approached, he saw it. Through ghost vision, a burst of golden light had obliterated the beasts in an instant. While Yuanju and Wan were still stunned by the mysterious golden strike, that very light suddenly veered toward them. Wan was the first target, then Yuanju, and finally, Jiang Kai himself. Yuanju yelled, "It bites! That damn thing bites!" But to their surprise, the golden light stopped right in front of Jiang Kai. Both of them froze, completely stunned. At that moment, Jiang Kai was holding a chubby little creature in his hand, a golden hamster. He glanced at the squirming rodent and smirked. "Fat mouse, your speed is seriously lacking." The hamster instantly lost it. "Squeak, squeak, squeak. You jerk. Who are you calling slow and fat? You caught me by pure dumb luck." But before it could finish raging, Jiang Kai let it go. The hamster froze, confused, then exploded in anger. "How dare you underestimate me? Prepare to be punished." It shot toward Jiang Kai like a golden lightning ball, only to be caught midair again. And again, Jiang Kai let it go. Over and over, no matter how many times it charged, he effortlessly snatched it back. That was the power of his insane agility and his ghost vision skill. Finally, the hamster gave up and surrendered, its tiny head hanging low in defeat. Yuanju was dumbfounded. "Wait, that's it. It's tamed already." Wan, on the other hand, was totally charmed. "It's so cute. I want to take it home as a pet." Meanwhile, a cloaked figure walked calmly toward the final checkpoint of the newbie trial. The colossal trial gate cracked open, and a recruit officer stepped out to greet him. "Congratulations. You've officially become an explorer of Ghost Star. But unfortunately, someone else already made it here first." The cloaked man slapped his hand away. "So what if I arrived later? Who said I'm not the real number one?" Then he casually pulled up his trial stats. The officer's eyes bulged. "Wait, what? You took down this many monsters? Alone?" The man pulled down his hood, revealing a head of flashy blonde hair. With smug arrogance, he declared, "I'm the second prince of the royal family, future high-ranking member of the Xuanwu Guild. Taking first place? Please, that was just a warm-up." The recruiter stiffened in shock. Royalty from the Xuanwu Guild? That was one of the top 10 guilds in all of St. Glo. His tone flipped instantly. "Congratulations, sir. Based on your score, you didn't just top this trial. You've ranked within the top 10 of all time in St. Glo's history." The royal prince burst out laughing. "Perfect. Let it be known. Today marks Huang Wei's first step into greatness. Give me just a little more time, and this entire Ghost Star will belong to me." But while Huang Wei was busy bragging, someone far more powerful was quietly approaching the trial's end, Jiang Kai, and he immediately sensed something was off. The area was eerily quiet, not a single monster in sight. Wan, however, was too busy fawning over Fat Mouse, eyes glowing with maternal instinct. Suddenly, a bone-chilling howl shattered the silence. A massive claw swiped out from the shadows. Jiang Kai's eyes narrowed. Shadow wolves? And not just a few, a whole pack. Even worse, their alpha was among them, the Shadow Wolf King, the final boss of the newbie zone. The trio instinctively huddled together, knowing there was only one way out, through the wolves. Jiang Kai charged forward, spear in hand. Yuanju followed with a leap into the air. As he landed, he unleashed a powerful ground slam, scattering several wolves. Wan quickly extracted venom and coated Jiang Kai's weapon. Activating his ghost vision, Jiang Kai hurled the poison spear straight at the alpha. But to their shock, the weapon bounced off the Shadow Wolf King's hide like it hit solid steel. The trio stood in disbelief. They couldn't even scratch the boss's defenses. Though unharmed, the Shadow Wolf King let out a furious roar, insulted by the attack. In response, the entire pack lunged toward them. Wan took a claw to the arm, while Yuanju wrestled with a wolf's jaws, barely holding it back. Jiang Kai, with his superior agility, dodged every strike with ease. But the commotion jostled the chubby creature tucked inside his hood awake. Dazed and grumpy, Fat Mouse scanned the scene until his eyes locked on the source of the noise. With his short temper triggered, he exploded into a bolt of golden lightning and launched himself straight at the Shadow Wolf King. Jiang Kai's jaw dropped. Fat Mouse actually bit through the Wolf King's defenses. Seizing the moment, Jiang Kai flung a concealed weapon straight at the wound. It struck dead on, causing the alpha to let out a blood-curdling howl. Without pause, Jiang Kai followed up with 3 more, everyone landing in the same weak spot. And then, pure luck struck. He triggered a 0.1% chance of a 200x critical hit, instantly one-shotting the boss. Ding! Congratulations, Explorer Jiang Kai has defeated the Shadow Wolf King, boss of the beginner zone. Yuan Zhu stood frozen. Wait, did you just one-shot the boss at level 1? Wan could only shield her eyes from the sheer protagonist glow. After all those monsters, this was the first time he'd trigger crit. The odds were microscopic, but the damage? Absolutely insane. With their leader dead, the remaining Shadow Wolves lost all will to fight. They scattered in all directions like panicked prey. Jiang Kai wasn't about to let them get away. No Wolf King, no brains. These mutts are ours now. Let's mop them up, go. Yuan Zhu went full punch-first-ask-never mode. Any wolf that came close got decked in the face. Even the healer, Wan, unleashed her hidden power, stacking buffs like a battle-crazed cheerleader. Together, they turned the battlefield into a wolf graveyard, the ground littered with fallen shadow wolves. After looting the corpses, the team headed for the trial's final checkpoint. A few hours later, the trio arrived at the bustling gates of Starlight City. Just then, Fat Mouse leapt from Jiang Kai's hood and dashed away. Jiang Kai didn't stop him. He'd never planned to keep the creature by force. If fate allowed, they'd meet again. The group then entered the newbie reception hall. They asked the official about the rankings from the trial. But before they got an answer, an arrogant voice cut in. Well, if it isn't the lowlife who used to clean toilets at my house. You want the rankings? I'll show them to you myself. Jiang Kai's eyes went cold. It was Huang Wei. Back in the real world, Jiang Kai's sister had worked for Huang Wei's family just to afford his ticket to Go Star. Huang had constantly harassed her and even mocked Jiang Kai's illness. Now, Huang Wei held up the leaderboard triumphantly. Look, I'm number 1, baby. You losers? Probably didn't even make the cut. The crowd around them burst into mocking laughter. Yuan Zhu clenched his fists, ready to throw hands, but Jiang Kai raised an arm to stop him. Jiang Kai calmly scanned the room. Sorry to break it to you all, but you're trash. The rankings? We're claiming the top 3 spots. Silence. 2.5 seconds of stunned disbelief. Then the whole hall erupted into laughter. Bro, you own the leaderboard now? Top 3? All of them. Please, if you manage that, I'll eat my own crap while doing a handstand. But Jiang Kai simply smiled. Yuan Zhu, Wan, time to stop pretending. Yeah, Yuan Zhu grinned. My wristband's been itching to show off. As their wristbands lit up, virtual monster cards began stacking in midair, like a skyscraper of kills. Gasps filled the hall. The entire crowd stood frozen in shock. Huang Wei's eyes narrowed as he spotted one specific card. Wait, isn't that the Shadow Wolf King? The final boss of the newbie zone? No way. That's impossible. This has to be fake. Don't joke with me. You losers couldn't even touch that thing, let alone kill it. Think it's fake? Jiang Kai raised an eyebrow. Why don't you refresh the leaderboard? Huang Wei fumbled with his wristband, and his face went pale. Right there on the screen, the top 3 names now read Jiang Kai, Yuan Zhu, Wan. The trio had officially claimed the top 3 rankings. Jiang Kai even tossed out the wristbands looted from the L Nation smugglers. By the way, can these be exchanged for extra points? Huang Wei immediately jumped up. Bullshit. No newbie can take down a bunch of level 5 smugglers. At least come up with a believable lie. He turned to the surrounding crowd. Did any of you see smugglers? Huh. Everyone shook their heads. Nope. With that, Huang Wei pressed the advantage. Officials, cancel their scores. They're clearly cheating. The attendant hesitated, unsure how to respond. Just then, a group of uniformed officials stepped forward. Actually, smugglers did show up. We just hadn't made the public announcement yet. HQ just sent down the order. Come in Jiang Kai's team immediately. Everything they said is true. And since even Vice Commander Jiang himself came here in person, that should tell you how real this is. Lu Jun stepped forward and faced Jiang Kai. For resolving the smuggler threat, he announced, the military has decided to upgrade your reward. Originally, the 2nd and 3rd place prizes were B rank gear. They're now upgraded to A rank. And as for the first place prize, he paused, getting S rank. On Go Star, gear is ranked from F to S. Even C and B rank items are considered rare and powerful. But A rank and S rank? That's the stuff adventurers dream about. The crowd erupted in chaos. S rank gear, just for clearing the tutorial? That's insane. No one was more enraged than Huang Wei. His face twisted in disbelief. How can he, a bottom feeder, get ahead of me? Isn't this system supposed to reward the rich? Poor people are supposed to be stuck with trash-tier jobs. Jiang Kai's gaze turned icy. Watch your mouth. But Huang Wei only doubled down. Your brother's a dying dog. Your sister's a glorified maid. Your whole family's just worthless scum. Then, without warning, he drew a blade and charged. I'll mess with your sister whenever I want. One of these days, maybe I'll just kill her. How about that, huh? A deadly silence fell. Jiang Kai's expression turned downright terrifying. And then, he vanished. In a blink, the crowd gasped in horror. Jiang Kai actually dared to fight back against a royal? Huang Wei wasn't just anybody. He was from Royal, one of the top 10 guilds on Go Star. Was Jiang Kai not afraid of retaliation? Clutching his wound, Huang Wei snarled. You actually dared to attack me? Do you even know who you're messing with? But Jiang Kai's gaze only grew colder. My family is my bottom line, he said. Touch them, and you die. As Jiang Kai stepped forward, Huang Wei panicked, raising a trembling hand. Wait. Too late. Jiang Kai's blade pierced forward without hesitation. Ding. Explorer Jiang Kai has killed level 1 Explorer Huang Wei. Gained 60 XP. Do you wish to plunder loot? Jiang Kai looked at his wristband and scoffed. Only 60 XP? Huh. So much for the mighty royal. Dirt poor, aren't you? The crowd was stunned. He really killed a royal heir. There is no way he could survive this on Go Star now. But Lu Jun actually smiled. Not bad. Reckless, sure, but the kid's got spine. He stepped forward and said loudly. Everyone saw it. Huang Wei struck first. Jiang Kai was acting in self-defense. Case closed. He then led the trio to a nearby pavilion, where 3 ornate boxes sat on a stone table. These are your rewards. Go on, open them. Warm was the first to open hers. Inside was a luminous gemstone, the Vitality Core, a healer's dream. It boosted both constitution and spirit by 15 points and provided excellent bonuses to healing and alchemy abilities. Zhuzi received a set of black flame breath leather armor. It boosted both defense and strength by 16 points and even provided 16% damage reduction. A well-balanced piece of gear, great for both offense and defense. When it was Jiang Kai's turn, he opened his chest and his eyes widened in shock. Inside lay 9 weapons, all lined up neatly, but none of them had been identified yet. Lu Jun pulled out an identification card and explained, high-tier weapons usually require appraisal before use. Luckily, I've got a card right here. As the appraisal process finished, the stats finally appeared. An S-rank weapon set called 9 Tribulations, Death Seeker. Each blade granted +9 strength, +9 penetration, and +9 agility. Its special effect? For every blade equipped, crit rate and crit damage increase by 10%, up to a max of 90%. But the moment a critical hit lands, all stacked bonuses are instantly reset. Lu Jun frowned at the results. Newbies have low base attack power. Even with crits, the damage output won't be impressive. Honestly, this S-rank set might not be as practical as some A-rank weapons. Hearing that, Zhuzi quickly asked, is there any way I can swap it for something else? Lu Jun replied, it's not easy, but I can give it a shot. But Jiang Kai spoke up calmly, no need. I'll take this one. With it, I'll become unstoppable. With his new S-rank weapon set, 9 Tribulations, Death Seeker in hand, Jiang Kai headed home with excitement bubbling in his chest. His future finally looked bright. He was now a registered explorer on Go Star. No more slums. His brother's illness could be treated. His sister wouldn't have to work and deal with harassment anymore. Everything was turning around. Eager to share the good news, he pushed open the door, ready to tell his family everything. But what greeted him wasn't the warmth of home. It was a room full of strangers. One man stood near the center, clearly waiting for his return. The man smirked and said, took you long enough. Heard you made quite the splash in the newbie trial today. Jiang Kai narrowed his eyes. He recognized him instantly. You're Huang Wei's brother, Huang Da. What do you want? Before Jiang Kai could react, he was shoved into the room. The door slammed shut behind him, and he was forced to the ground. Huang Da walked over, gripping a metal baton in his hand. Jiang Kai, did you know? After what you did to my brother on Go Star, He's now in therapy. Let me make one thing clear. The Huang family bullies others. We're never the ones getting bullied. You made Huang Wei unable to log in for a month. So now, I'll make sure you never log in again. Ever. As soon as he finished speaking, Huang Da swung the baton straight at Jiang Kai's head. Just as Jiang Kai thought his life was over, the door was kicked off its hinges with a deafening crash. The impact sent Huang Da and his men flying across the room. Furious, Huang Da roared, "Who dares to mess with the Huang family?" Two men in military uniforms stepped through the doorway. One of them said, "Jiang Kai, I warned you to be careful when you go home. Why didn't you listen?" Behind him, Su Lanlan held up a document. "Nobody move. This is official military business." Huang Da's expression turned pale. "W. Wei Ying, commander of the Jiangzhou military district? Why is he here?" Wei Ying let out a cold snort. "I'm here for Jiang Kai. You just picked a fight with the wrong person." Cold sweat poured down Huang Da's face. "No way. When did this punk get such powerful connections?" Jiang Kai stood up, eyes sharp as blades, shooting Huang Da a chilling glare. Moments later, Huang Da was handcuffed and escorted into a police vehicle. The three stood in the hallway, watching it all unfold. Jiang Kai turned to them, first offering his thanks, then asking, "Why were you here?" Wayne got straight to the point. "Your performance in the newbie trial caught the military's attention." Zhuzi and Nuanyuan had already received their invitations from the military. Wayne took a drag from his cigarette. "You got a new class, don't you?" Jiang Kai's eyes narrowed sharply. The gambler class, his biggest secret, was exposed. Su Lanlan stepped in, continuing, "Jiang Kai, do you understand what new class means? It could be a game changer for humanity's combat potential. Right now, Ghost Star has many class types. Every 20 levels, explorers undergo a class evolution. Their attributes and skills shift, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Most classes become obsolete in the late game. That's why the military is constantly seeking new ones, with stronger growth and greater potential." She looked him in the eye. "And you, Jiang Kai, may have one of those rare, powerful new classes. So, are you willing to join the military as a new class holder?" Jiang Kai didn't respond immediately. Su Lanlan laid it all out. "If you agree to join the military, we'll protect your family and cover all your brother's medical expenses." He remained silent, neither agreeing nor refusing. Seeing this, Wei Ying didn't press further. He turned to leave. "Take your time to think it over." But just as they reached the stairs, Jiang Kai called out from behind, "Sorry, I'm not joining." They both stopped and looked back. "Why not?" Jiang Kai answered calmly. "I get that joining the military is a great opportunity. For people like Zhuzi, a martial artist, or Nuanyuan, a healer, their classes have clear potential. But I'm different. My class is still untested. Remember when the drunkard class first appeared? The military poured resources into it. For a time, it was all the rage. But once they realized it had no long-term value, they dropped it like a rock. Now, people laugh at the class, comparing it to being a beggar. I let my guard down this time. Didn't expect the royals to act so shamelessly. We'll be relocating out of their reach as soon as possible. And I do appreciate your help. But my siblings and I, we've survived on our own for over a decade. We're used to controlling our own fate, not depending on someone else's protection." Su Lanlan frowned. "But the world is on the brink of collapse. Your new class might be the breakthrough humanity needs. How can you be so selfish?" Jiang Kai gave a slight smile. "I'm sorry, I'm just not that noble. When I had nothing, it was my family who stayed with me. I just want a solid path to give them a better life." Wei Ying wasn't angry. In fact, he nodded. He understood survival habits built over a decade don't change overnight. Still, he reminded Jiang Kai, "Your brother's condition can't wait. And in this world, going solo won't get you far." So Wei Ying offered him a wager. For the next month, the military would continue to protect Jiang Kai's family. If he could earn enough to pay for the surgery, then he'd have proven he could protect them himself, and the military would back off. But if he failed, he'd have to join the military, and they'd cover the costs. Jiang Kai paused and smiled. Deal. With the bed in place, he had no time to lose. That night, he left behind a single note and vanished. As he walked toward the teleportation gate, thoughts swirled in his mind. He needed to find somewhere safer for his family, which meant this trip to Ghost Star had to make serious money. Ghost Star's Saint Light City, Jiang Kai had changed into a brand new outfit. Sleek, sharp, and battle-ready. He looked like a whole new man. Jiang Kai's first move was to join a guild. On Ghost Star, most monsters were stronger than the explorers themselves. For rookies, solo hunting was nearly impossible. Joining a guild was the safest route. He pushed open the guild service hall's door and walked up to the front desk. "Hi, I'd like to join a guild." The staff member looked at his profile, and their expression instantly changed. "I'm sorry, you're Jiangkai, right? You're not allowed to join any guilds." Jiangkai was stunned. "What? Why?" The staff member lowered their voice. "You offended the royal family. You've been blacklisted. From now on, you'll have to survive Ghost Star on your own." Jiangkai stood frozen, completely dumbfounded. Scene, Saintlight City teleportation hub. Sitting on a bench near the portal, Jiangkai rubbed his temples. He never expected that pissing off one royal would make every guild shut their doors on him. Just then, a cheerful voice called out behind him. "Hey there, traveler. You look pretty stressed. Can't decide where to go." Jiangkai turned around and found himself face to face with a cute girl with purple hair. "I'm a fortune teller," she smiled. "I can predict the best location for your next adventure. Just 100 ghost credits per reading." Without hesitation, Jiangkai turned and walked away. "Sorry, I don't believe in that stuff." The girl chased after him. "Wait, you can haggle. How about 80 or 30? You know what? I'll do one for free. First time customer deal." Jiangkai spun around and rushed back. "Say no more. I love astrology, tarot, horoscopes. I'm totally into all of it." The girl stared at him, deadpan. "Unbelievable. Say free." And he bolts back faster than a dog. "Whatever. Guess I'll treat this as practice." As the divination disc spun slowly, the girl began chanting softly. After a moment, she looked up at Jiangkai and said, "Sir, I see danger looming over your fate. If you wish to avoid misfortune, I suggest heading to the King's Valley." Jiangkai fell into thought. She wasn't wrong. He was being hunted by the royals. The ash plains were filled with level 1 to 10 monsters. It was the go-to area for beginners, and the royals would likely ambush him there. Typing Mountain Path was for level 15 plus explorers. Heading there now would be suicide. But King's Valley, that was a level 10 plus zone. It'd be tough, but he might just manage. Plus, it was unlikely the royals would set up an ambush there. Jiangkai cracked his knuckles and muttered, "Since they want me to solo Ghost Star, fine. I'll give them the solo run of a lifetime." He turned and waved goodbye to the fortune teller. She instinctively waved back. That hit her. "Wait, did he just say King's Valley? I meant for groups, not solo. That place will eat a newbie alive." Panicking, she quickly packed up her stand and bolted. "Please don't die, and please don't come back to blame me." Scene shift, King's Valley. Jiangkai crept forward cautiously through the dense jungle, when suddenly, he heard a deep roar in the distance. He followed the sound and saw a massive black gorilla locked in combat with an explorer team, and the team was clearly struggling. It was an 11-level power gorilla. Fortunately, the team was well coordinated. Archers and mages attacked from afar. The tank held the front line, and a swordsman darted in for flanking strikes. Hiding behind a tree, Jiangkai observed silently. The monsters here were no joke. He couldn't help but wonder, could he even handle one on his own? Just then, a foul, bloody wind swept across his back. He spun around and saw several giant gorillas staring straight at him, eyes glowing red. Jiangkai instinctively leapt back in fear. His wrist device quickly scanned the approaching monsters. One was level 12, the second was 13, and the largest of the bunch was a terrifying level 14. Meanwhile, the explorer team had just finished taking down the power gorilla and were celebrating their hard-earned victory. Suddenly, a loud explosion rang out. The team turned their heads, startled, and saw 3 enraged gorillas charging after a lone man. "Holy crap, that guy's fighting 3 power gorillas alone." One of the female teammates gasped, "Should we help him?" The team leader barked, "Are you crazy?" He clearly overestimated himself and pulled all 3. He couldn't handle even one of them. "If we go, we're dead meat. Stop gawking and run." But then, another explosion echoed across the jungle. Against all odds, Jiangkai had just taken down the level 12 gorilla with a single strike. Turns out, he had activated his S-rank weapon, 9 Tribulations, Death Seeker. When he unleashed the 5th blade, it triggered a super critical hit that instantly one-shot the beast. The entire team was frozen in shock, especially the captain. It had taken all 4 of them, all level 10, to barely defeat an 11-level gorilla, and this guy just solo killed a level 12 like it was nothing. The 2 remaining gorillas were still hot on Jiangkai's heels. While running, he pulled out another blade from his 9 Tribulations, Death Seeker set, and hurled at one of them. The flying dagger hit its mark, and to his surprise, it triggered a critical hit, instantly killing the level 13 power gorilla. The explorer team stood frozen, completely stunned for the second time. Now, only the final gorilla remained, a level 14 beast. Jiang Kai kept running, eyes scanning for the perfect opportunity to strike. The team leader's jaw dropped. No way. That one's level 14. There's no way he can one-shot that. Just then, Jiang Kai turned around. In one hand, he held the last 3 blades of his Death Seeker set. In the other hand, several steel needles to boost his critical chance as much as possible. Without hesitation, he unleashed them all in a single, explosive attack. The gorilla let out a thunderous roar and charged. But in the blink of an eye, critical hit triggered. Jiang Kai grinned. Huh, I won the gamble. The level 14 power gorilla was down. The 4-member team stood there, absolutely floored, their scalps tingling from the sheer shock. Jiang Kai didn't even glance their way. He calmly retrieved his weapons, stored the corpses of all 3 gorillas, and walked away without a word. Only then did the team leader snap back to reality. Crap, that guy's a monster. We should have made friends with him. One of the teammates shot him a look. Didn't you just say not to get involved? Meanwhile, Ash Plains, a young girl was being grabbed by the throat. The situation looked grim. The one choking the girl was part of a 5-man squad, each of them level 20 or higher. They were the royal family's personal hit team, known as the Falcon Squad, sent specifically to hunt Jiang Kai. The squad leader narrowed his eyes. We heard you were the last one to see Jiang Kai. Tell us where he is. Gasping for air, the girl choked out. Are you after him? One of the Falcon members sneered. Isn't it obvious? Jiang Kai crossed the royals. We're here to settle the score. He went to King's Valley, the girl stammered. You'll find him there. The man shoved her to the ground. If you lied to us, we'll come back and make sure you die first. The girl sat silently, head lowered, saying nothing. Only after they left did she mutter with a sinister grin. I already read your fate. And let's just say, going after Jiang Kai likely means death. One day later, Jiang Kai had hunted down 16 power gorillas on his own and finally reached level 6. Looking at the stack of beast cards in his hand, he smiled. Each gorilla corpse could be sold for a decent amount. It was exhausting work, but if he kept this up, he might just afford his brother surgery. Just then, a voice called out to him. Hey, you there. Want to join our hunt? We've got 3 teams working together to take down elite power gorillas. If we win, there's an elite treasure chest to split. You in? Jiang Kai hesitated. I don't have a team. I'm solo. The man leading the group grinned. That's fine. We're short one guy anyway. The group led him to a valley. Down below, for level 15 elite power gorillas were stomping around, radiating menace. Then, the leader smirked and revealed his true colors. Here's the plan. You go draw one away. We'll handle the other 3. Once it's done, we'll share the loot. Jiang Kai paused to think. The elite treasure chest likely held some serious loot, and there was no way he was walking away without it. Since these guys were clearly using him as bait, he figured, why not use them back? He agreed to the plan. Moments later, the entire group leapt down into the valley. As planned, Jiang Kai lured one of the elite gorillas away, leaving the other 3 for the teams to handle. He sprinted at full speed, with the enraged beast thundering after him. Once he had enough distance, Jiang Kai came to a sudden stop, then launched 8 Death Seeker daggers in one swift motion. Every blade hit the mark, triggering a super critical strike. The level 15 gorilla collapsed instantly. Jiang Kai smirked. That's one down. Time to grab that treasure. Back in the valley, the 3 teams were still locked in fierce combat with the other gorillas. Taking advantage of the chaos, Jiang Kai slipped into a nearby cave, and just as he'd hoped, a treasure chest sat waiting inside. He approached to claim it, when something wet dripped onto his shoulder. He looked up and froze. A massive gorilla had been clinging to the ceiling. Reacting instantly, Jiang Kai jumped back, barely dodging a crushing blow. Then his eyes widened. That beast was level 20. Even worse, it was smart. It was deliberately cutting off his exit. Not wasting a second, Jiang Kai launched 3 more throwing knives. But they all bounced off harmlessly. A system alert flashed. Enemy defense too high. Attacks ineffective. That's when he realized this was just like the Wolf King. He'd have to break through its defense first or die trying. While Jiang Kai was still trying to come up with a plan, the massive gorilla charged straight at him. With a deafening crash, it slammed its fist into him, sending him flying into the stone wall. He hit hard, coughing up blood on impact. The stat difference was overwhelming. Just one hit had nearly killed him. The gorilla grabbed Jiang Kai like a toy and lifted him up to its face. A strange glimmer appeared in its eye. Was that a tear rolling down its cheek? Jiang Kai couldn't even keep his eyes open. Everything felt heavy. He was so tired. Then, a voice echoed in the darkness. "Wake up! Hey, wake up!" It was his brother, running while carrying him, shouting, crying, begging him not to close his eyes. "I'll get you out of here, I swear." That was 10 years ago, on the Beast God battlefield. But his brother wasn't here now, and no one else was coming to save him. The next moment, the gorilla opened its massive jaws and threw Jiang Kai straight into its mouth. Just then, a seemingly ordinary glove activated, a glove that would change everything. The glove had one simple function. It could imbue any weapon with flames. The base damage was laughable, only 10 points. But when combined with Jiang Kai's explosive critical multiplier, it became a nightmare. The flames burned continuously, each tick with a chance to trigger a crit. And when it did, it hit with 200 times the damage. Even worse for his enemies, the flames could spread, dealing area damage with every attack. And that's how Jiang Kai, a man who wasn't even a mage, became a living, breathing fire god on the battlefield. Today, 5-level, 20 elite explorers thought they could gang up on a level 10 rookie, Jiang Kai. The squad leader drew his sword with a sneer. "Scare now, kid? That's what you get for crossing the royals." With that, the entire team charged at him. Jiang Kai dodged the first slash with ease, then flicked his wrist. 3 Deathseeker daggers flew through the air. The enemies managed to dodge the blades, but the flames still licked their armor. They laughed. "Seriously? That tiny fire damage? What a joke." Jiang Kai chuckled back. "Yeah, the flame damage is pretty weak." Just then, a 2,000 damage number popped up above the squad leader's head. A split second later, flames erupted all over his body. He was engulfed in fire, screaming in agony as he burned to death. At the same moment, fire burst out from the others as well. Their bodies lit up like torches, and their screams echoed through the canyon. Then came the system alert. Explorer Jiang Kai has eliminated Falcon Squad. Team experience is now claimable. The nearby crowd erupted. What the hell? He solo-wiped Falcon Squad. That was a level 20 elite team. Jiang Kai walked calmly up to their charred corpses and said coldly, "Begin experience absorption." Meanwhile, the sharpest onlookers had already pulled out their wrist devices to scan his data, but all they could see was his level. His attributes were completely hidden. After absorbing the Falcon Squad's experience, Jiang Kai leveled up from 10 to 12. But something still puzzled him. Why couldn't anyone see his attributes? Curious, he summoned his smart assistant to investigate. The AI responded, "Because of your gambler class and its doubling trait, you've accumulated an excessive number of bonus stats. The gap between you and others at your level is too wide, so the system auto-hides your attributes to maintain balance." Jiang Kai nodded, slightly amused. "Honestly, I'm fine with that. Makes it harder for jealous eyes to target me." Not long after, he arrived at the Item Exchange Center in St. Light City. The clerk at the counter was half asleep. But the moment Jiang Kai displayed his loot, her drowsy expression turned into wide-eyed shock. After the system calculated everything, he had earned a whopping 180,000 ghost credits. 1 ghost credit equaled 10 Saint Light coins, meaning he now had a total of 1.8 million. Finally, he had enough to cover his brother's medical bills. The bet with weighing? Officially fulfilled. Just as he was about to head home, a familiar voice called out to him. It was the purple-haired fortune teller from earlier. She hesitated, then spoke softly. Since I helped you before, could you maybe grant me one request?" Jiang Kai replied calmly, "That depends. What do you want?" She fidgeted nervously. "I'm Huyen, and I'd like to join your team." Jiang Kai turned and walked away without saying a word. Huyen stood there, jaw-dropping. Wow, that was cold. Her eyes dimmed. She muttered to herself. Of course, no one wants a fortune teller on their team. This might be my last time logging in a Ghost Star. Then she called out, "Hey, do you want my gear? I'll give it all to you." Jiang Kai turned around, puzzled. "Aren't you trying to make money on Ghost Star?" Huyen gave a helpless smile. "Of course I am. But no team wants a fortune teller. When the system first labeled Feng Shui Masters as a strong class, I rushed to level 20 and switched to fortune teller. But then the devs realized we had 0 combat power and basically abandoned the class. Feng Shui Masters were too weak. No one wanted to team up with us, so leveling up became impossible. Without anyone to party with, all I could do was kill time and survive here alone. At least back on Earth, I could do manual labor or odd jobs, anything to avoid starving." Jiang Kai went quiet for a moment, then said, "That kind of life is tough. My brother worked himself into the ground doing that. You're a girl. It'll be even harder for you. Hu Yin let out a bitter laugh. So what if it's hard? I've got younger siblings to feed. I'm the only one supporting my family. I can't afford to collapse. In that moment, Jiang Kai saw a glimpse of his brother in her. Back then, his brother had also dreamed of exploring Ghost Star. But after taking in Jiang Kai and their little sister, he gave it all up. He stayed behind, worked himself sick, and eventually his body gave out. Looking at Hu Yin, this girl carrying the same kind of weight, Jiang Kai changed his mind. Next time, he said. Hu Yin blinked. Next time? What do you mean? Jiang Kai smiled faintly. My name's Jiang Kai. If I find you again the next time I log in, we'll team up. Hu Yan's eyes widened, her heart racing. Oh really? Jiang Kai waved his hand casually. Yeah, if I'm lying, may I never make a sin again. Tears welled up in Hu Yan's eyes. For someone as stingy as you saying something like that, it has to be true. The next moment, she ran forward and crashed into him with a hug. Thank you. You're a good guy. Back on Earth, Jiang Kai returned from Ghost Star full of excitement and celebrated with his family. Just then, he got a call from Commander Wei Ying. Come see me, Wei Ying said. We need to talk. Jiang Kai frowned. Didn't I already fulfill the bet? What else could he want? Shortly after, he arrived at the meeting point. Wei Ying was already there, waiting silently. But before Jiang Kai could say anything, the ground began to shake violently. A massive beast burst out from behind him, roaring with earth-shattering force. It was chasing several people, chaos erupting around them. Jiang Kai gasped. That's a beast god, and they're fighting it. On Ghost Star, every 20 levels marks a power threshold. Only those above level 80 can bring Ghost Star's power back to Earth. These people are called Transcendents, and they're humanity's only hope against the beast gods. The battle intensified. 3 Transcendents soared into the air, their power on full display. Jiang Kai watched in awe. They got it. Incredible. But Wei Ying's words shattered his excitement. Incredible? That was just an ordinary beast god. And to kill it, we lost 2 Transcendents. His tone turned grim. Jiang Kai, humanity's situation is far worse than you think. Don't get too comfortable living in the safe zone. Complacency is dangerous. Wei Ying looked at Jiang Kai and spoke with sincerity. You won the bet. I'll honor my word. I won't force you to join the military. I've also warned the royals to leave you alone. Jiang Kai frowned. But I'm not even part of the military. Why go this far for me? Wei Ying chuckled. Strange, right? Why would I help you? It's simple, because I trust my instincts. And my gut tells me, you're going to be powerful. Powerful enough that one day, the entire nation might rely on you. But for now, I get it. In this apocalypse, all you want is to protect your family. Joining the army means heading straight to the front lines. And yes, the battlefield is deadly. But still, when the world falls apart, someone has to stand up and fight back. Maybe someday, I'll die on that battlefield too. But if I do, I'll die proud, as a soldier who served his people. Jiang Kai, I won't interfere with your choices. But if Saint Light is ever in danger, I only hope that, if you're able, you'll stand and fight for it. Several days later, Jiang Kai returned to Ghost Star once again. Wei Ying's words still echoed in his mind. Will I really be strong enough to protect a nation someday? He shook the thought away. One step at a time. Right now, I just need to get stronger. He pulled up his target data. Phantom Banshee, an elite grade monster. High damage. Can instantly kill explorers. Her attacks carry a fear effect, and she possesses ghost physiology. The Fear Banshee's chilling laugh paralyzes anyone within 10 meters, causing overwhelming dread. And due to her ghost-type traits, only attacks within 10 meters can actually hurt her. In other words, to land a hit, he'd have to get within 10 meters. But the moment he did, he'd be under the effects of fear. Jiang Kai turned around, deciding to find Hu Yin, the girl who once said she wanted to team up with him. Not long after, he saw a familiar figure right where they had parted ways before. A girl was standing in the middle of the street, holding up a sign, fast asleep. He suddenly appeared behind her. Hu Yin, don't tell me. You've been waiting here since the last time we logged off. Wah, Jiang Kai. I knew you'd come back. She leapt up and hugged him. I waited for you for days. Oh, and I found us another teammate. I did a reading. He'll totally help us in the next hunt. Jiang Kai raised a brow. Really? Where is he? A chubby guy waddled out from behind cart. Hello. I'm the one you my class is, drunkard. Jiang Kai turned on his heel and bolted. Nope. Goodbye. Hu Yin didn't expect such a dramatic reaction. She chased after him. Captain Kai. Wait, listen. Just give Wan Yu a chance. He's hard-working and super obedient. He can cook, start campfires, massage your legs, your back. And he even said, if you let him join the team, he won't take a single share of the loot. Jiang Kai's pupils suddenly shrank at those words. He spun around, grabbed Ruan Yu's hand with a firm shake. Comrade Ruan Yu, I'm Captain Jiang Kai. The moment I saw you, I knew you were a rare gem. From this moment on, you're part of my team. And as captain, it's my sacred duty to lead you into battle, starting with the Phantom Banshee. The chubby guy blinked and whispered to Huyen, is our captain always this practical? Or is he just like super stingy? That day, Jiang Kai led Huyen and the chubby Ruan Yu into the territory of the Phantom Banshee to grind levels. As they cautiously crept closer to their target, a strange sound broke the tense silence. It was snoring? Jiang Kai immediately whispered, don't make a sound. Huyen looked confused. That wasn't me. They turned around and realized the snoring was coming from the drunkard, who had actually fallen asleep mid-sneak. As expected, the Banshee heard the noise. With a screech, she launched into the air and dove straight at them, activating her fear-inducing skill, Dreadful Screech. A powerful wave of sound crashed into the group. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Kai and Huyen were paralyzed, their bodies frozen in place under the effect of fear. Just as the Banshee raised her claws to strike, Ruan Yu suddenly dove forward like a rabid simp, screaming, my goddess, I'm coming for you. Bam! He tackled the Banshee straight to the ground. Pinning her down, he wore a disturbingly love-struck expression, caressing her ghostly cheeks like some creepy otaku. The Banshee was completely dumbfounded. She had never encountered this level of psychological warfare. Meanwhile, Jiang Kai's fear debuff wore off. The Banshee's screech was on cooldown. This was his shot. Without hesitation, he hurled his 9-segment chaser blades. Ruan Yu, still in simp mode, leaning closer, puckering up. He was about to kiss the Banshee. But just before lip contact, boom, the blade struck true. The Banshee exploded into ashes, saved by the bell. With the elite Banshee slain, Jiang Kai and the others were in high spirits. But Ruan Yu was devastated. Tears streamed down his face as he cried out, monsters! Why did you blow up my wife? Jiang Kai was speechless. What's with this guy? Huyen sighed and explained, he's a drunkard class. When he's wasted, he develops a crush on hideous things. The uglier, the better. With that, she happily ran into the Banshee's lair to search for loot. Jiang Kai turned to Ruan Yu, deep in thought. The drunkard's biggest flaw was losing control after drinking, but it was that very flaw that made him immune to the Banshee's fear effect. A smirk crept across Jiang Kai's face. Huyen returned, holding a treasure chest in her arms. The moment she saw that wicked grin on Jiang Kai's face, she shuddered. Something told her this was only the beginning. Soon, they found another Banshee nearby. Jiang Kai raised a hand. All right, you're up. With a grin, Huyen launched Ruan Yu like a simp missile straight at the Banshee, who was mid-cast on her Dreadful Screech. Once again, Ruan Yu's unhinged simp mode completely nullified the fear effect. He tackled her to the ground. Same setup, same chaos. Jiang Kai, smiling like a villain, pulled out his daggers again. 10 blades flew out, striking the Banshee just as Ruan Yu leaned in for a kiss. A loud explosion echoed through the valley. Explorer Jiang Kai had just slain another elite Banshee. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu was blasted into the air by the blast and landed headfirst with a resounding thud. Jiang Kai and Huyen bumped fists. Nice shot. Let's hit the next one before he sobers up. After 35 Banshees had been taken down, Ruan Yu was completely dazed while the others heartlessly cracked open treasure chests without missing a beat. By the time they cleared all the Banshees in King's Valley, Jiang Kai had reached level 14. Among their loot were 2 skill cards. The first one, Serendipity Sense, a wide-range detection spell powered by high mental strength. Huyen, now level 29, had the highest mental stat among them, so Jiang Kai handed the card over without hesitation. Tears welled up in her eyes. Finally, she had a skill other than fortune-telling. Overcome with emotion, she dropped her knees and headbutted the ground in gratitude so many times that her forehead started swelling. Seeing her act like a goofy, overjoyed kid, Jiang Kai couldn't help but smile proudly. Then he pulled out the second card, one that could unlock hidden class skills. The moment he activated it, his AI assistant, his smart brain waifu, materialized right in front of him. Congratulations! Hidden class / gambler has unlocked an exclusive skill, Casino Pickpocket. Skill effect. When activated, If no explorers are actively watching the gambler, he can secretly steal 0.1% of their total attributes and temporarily add them to his own stats for 30 minutes. Once time's up, both the skill and the stolen stats vanish. Jiang Kai nearly lost his mind. It felt like pulling 80 gacha draws just to get a useless 5-star dupe. A rare skill card, and the bonus is 0.1%. Even if someone has 1,000 points, he only gets one. While he was still sulking, Wanyu finally sobered up. He couldn't recall exactly what he did while drunk, but his heart felt like it had been crushed. Hu Yin leaned over with a friendly reminder, saying, "Ghost Star's #1 lover boy. Forgot about losing 35 wives last night?" The moment she said that, all the repressed memories rushed back to Wanyu. He immediately bent over and puked. Then, with tears in his eyes, he said, "I'm a drunkard class. I can't control myself when I drink. I nearly dragged the whole team down. If you're disappointed in me, Captain, I'll leave." But Jiang Kai handed him a piece of gear instead. "What are you talking about? You were the MVP last night. This gear's yours. Without you, we wouldn't have cleared so many banshees. You were the real core of this run." Wanyu was moved beyond words. "No, Kai, I said I didn't need gear. Just being accepted into your team already means the world to me. No one else wanted me out there." Jiang Kai cut him off, firm as ever. "I'm a captain. I say take it, so you take it. Also, Hu Yin gets a share too." The moment Hu Yin heard that she also got a reward, her eyes sparkled like stars as she stared at Jiang Kai. In their eyes now, Jiang Kai wasn't just a stingy team leader. He had transformed into a rose between the lips, gold shower-slinging, sparkle-coated handsome hero. Without hesitation, both of them dropped to their knees and started bowing furiously. "From now on, we live for you and die for you, Captain Kai." Not long after, Jiang Kai returned to the Ghost Star trading post. The young lady who helped him sell items last time had now become the top salesperson. This time, he sold all the materials from their Banshee hunt and made a total of 8.4 million Xingyao coins. Jiang Kai was thrilled. Now his brother and sister wouldn't have to worry about living expenses anymore. He then used the money to upgrade his gear. First, a pair of Nightwalker pants that granted 3 minutes of invisibility at night. And second, a ghost-grade chestplate, which could trigger a phase every 10 minutes, making him immune to one physical hit. After changing into his new gear, Jiang Kai felt stronger than ever. He now had the confidence to fight explorers even above level 20. Just then, Wanyu waddled over, hugging a wooden log. "Captain Kai, I made some upgrades to your flying daggers. Check this out." Without warning, he hurled one of the daggers straight at Jiang Kai. Jiang Kai panicked, yelling, "What the hell, Wanyu? Still mad, I blew up your 35 wives?" But right as the dagger was about to hit him, Wanyu tossed aside the log and shouted, "Come back!" To Jiang Kai's shock, the dagger reversed mid-air, sliced the wooden log clean in two, and returned neatly to Wanyu's hand. Turns out Wanyu had added a high-powered magnet to the daggers, so they'd return automatically after being thrown. No more running around picking them up. Jiang Kai lit up. "That's genius. Now I don't have to worry about running out of daggers mid-fight. And it even hits enemies on the way back. You, my friend, are a modding genius." Wanyu beamed. "You really think so?" To boost his confidence, Jiang Kai raised a hand and swore, "If I'm lying, may the heavens strike me down." A loud thunderclap echoed from above, and seconds later, it started pouring rain. Wanyu turned to Jiang Kai with a suspicious look. "Captain, you didn't lie to me just now, did you?" Before Jiang Kai could come up with an answer, Hu Yin popped up cheerfully. "Hey, I finally learned rain prayer, but it doesn't seem very useful." Jiang Kai quickly analyzed. "What do you mean?" "Look around. People are already taking cover from it. If you can make the rain heavy enough to mess with enemy movement, they'd be walking torches. I could pick off anyone I want." Inspired, Hu Yin nodded fiercely. "Got it, Captain. I'll master rain prayer no matter what." Just then, Jiang Kai overheard a group talking about the royal family. Curious, he stepped up and asked, "What happened with the royals?" The trio looked shocked. "You seriously haven't heard? They're mobilizing 200,000 troops to take down a king-class boss." Jiang Kai was stunned. With the beast gods running rampant on Earth, the only way for nations to fight back was by harvesting resources from Ghost Star. But these resources were guarded by powerful bosses. Nations had to conquer them to expand territory and gather supplies. Monsters on Ghost Star were ranked by strength: Common, Elite, Commander, Warlord, King Class, Map Boss, and at the very top, Guardian Lords. A single King Class boss required tens of thousands of fighters to even stand chance. And yet the royal family was leading the charge, teaming up with the Xuanwu Guild to fight for the nation. Jiang Kai fell into deep thought. Could it be that Huang Wei's family has really changed? Are they the kind of people Commander Wei spoke of? Those who fight for the world. He recalled Wei Ying's words. When a world is in chaos, every citizen has a duty to fight. Staring into his own reflection in the puddle, Jiang Kai murmured, if even Huang Wei is stepping up, maybe it's time I did too. On Ghost Star's surging isle, Jiang Kai and his team were shivering uncontrollably. They hadn't expected the island to be this cold. Suddenly, someone yelled at them from afar. What team are you from, idiots? Don't you know you're not supposed to walk on the lake before the battle starts? Jiang Kai looked confused. This is our first time here. Why can't we walk on the ice? The man snapped. Bunch of morons. There are monsters under that ice. Your footsteps will attract them. As if on cue, a murloc burst through the ice, slamming into all three of them. It was a level 22 bipedal fishman, armed and aggressive. Jiang Kai quickly grabbed Hu Yin and Ruan Yu, pulling them backward. The man just laughed from the sidelines. Seriously? A level 22 fishman? You need a level 20 team to even stand a chance. You're all dead meat. The fishman lunged forward with its spear, aiming straight for Jiang Kai. Both Hu Yin and Ruan Yu shouted in unison, "Watch out, Captain Kai!" Just as the spear was about to pierce him, Jiang Kai activated his ghost armor's phase shift. When the skill ended, 8 throwing knives were already in his hands. He glared coldly. 8 throwing knives flew toward the fishman's head, each one igniting in flames and triggering a critical hit. The 3 guys who had mocked him earlier stood frozen, eyes wide in disbelief. Not only had this guy dodged a point-blank attack from the fishman, but he'd also soloed a level 22 elite monster, something only a level 20-plus team should have been able to handle. Jiang Kai rolled his shoulders. Warmed up already. With a casual wave of his hand, the segmented flying blades, 9-part pursuer, returned from the fishman's body and floated neatly in front of him. My strength is 76 now. A single crit deals a minimum of 15,200 damage, and that's without factoring in my weapon's bonus crit multiplier. Basically, anything around level 20, monster or explorer, won't survive 1 hit from me if it crits. Meanwhile, Hu Yen had already stashed the fishman's corpse without a word. Jiang Kai turned back toward the 3 men, who were now standing meekly before him, looking like well-trained subordinates. After asking about Huang Wei's location, Jiang Kai decided to go alone. He didn't want Hu Yin or Ruan Yu getting tangled up in his personal grudge. Just then, a familiar silhouette emerged. Jiang Kai's eyes lit up. Huang Wei. It was Huang Wei, clad in rocky armor, silently locking eyes with Jiang Kai. Jiang Kai spoke first. Huang Wei, I heard you're joining the royal crusade against the king-level boss. I respect that. Maybe it's time we bury the hatchet. I'm willing to fight alongside you on Yongdong Island. But the next second, a flash of cold steel reflected across Jiang Kai's face. Huang Wei slashed at him without warning. Jiang Kai barely dodged in time. What the hell, Huang Wei? I came to make peace. Jiang Kai shouted in disbelief. Huang Wei sneered, his tone venomous. Peace? You kill me first, remember? I've been stuck in therapy for months because of you. Now you just show up and want to make peace? Ever since you killed me, I've wanted revenge. But the military ordered my family not to touch you. You think I could swallow that humiliation? So, I volunteered for this mission, to take down the king-level boss. If I earn enough merit, I'll use it to force the military to stop protecting you. Jiang Kai was stunned. So, the whole crusade was just your way to get at me? Damn right, Huang Wei growled. But lucky me, you came to me. I'll kill you first, then earn enough merit to wipe my record clean. Jiang Kai narrowed his eyes. Guess I gave you too much credit. You're still the same petty backstabber. But if you think you can kill me, bring it on. Don't forget, I already wiped out your precious Falcon Squad once. One of Huang Wei's men scoffed. You? Wipe out Falcon Squad? Please. That must have been the military babysitting your sorry ass. Our boss here is level 10 with full S-rank gear. He doesn't even need backup to take you out. Mid-sentence, the enemy's eyes suddenly widened. Wait, isn't he the same intake as our boss? How the hell is he already level 14? In the next moment, Huang Wei's screams echoed across the battlefield. What the hell? Why is his attack on fire? Jiang Kai remained emotionless. Don't bother saving him. He's finished. But to everyone's shock, Huang Wei stood back up amidst the flames. No, I'm not dead yet. My gear locks me at 1% HP. Quick, kill him. torture him until he begs for death. Facing enemies more than 15 levels higher than him, Jiang Kai didn't back down. Instead, he launched 4 of his 9-segment chase knives straight at them. But all the knives missed, zipping past the enemies without hitting a single one. One of them laughed mockingly. All those knives, and not a single hit. What's wrong, kid? Hands shaking from fear of fighting real level 30s. With that, he lunged toward Jiang Kai with his blade raised. Jiang Kai calmly raised his hand and said, "Return." One of the knives zipped back and struck the man clean in the back. The fire enchantment triggered, and he was instantly engulfed in flames. The remaining 3 enemies froze in horror. What the hell? The knife came back. Jiang Kai stared them down coldly. This was the first time he'd used his knife recall technique in live combat. An unexpected move that easily took down a level 32 opponent. In a flash, Jiang Kai vanished and reappeared behind another enemy. You're next. 9-segment chase, return. In the blink of an eye, a knife flew in from the front and pierced the man's chest. Flames erupted from the blade, engulfing him in an instant. His screams echoed out, sending chills down the spines of the last 2 enemies. What kind of skill is that? Why does it hit so damn hard? Is this guy some undercover pro acting like a noob? Huang Wei snapped in frustration. Idiots, can't you see he's a long-range specialist? Just close the distance and beat the crap out of him. He sneered confidently. There's no such thing as a perfect build. He's clearly a ranged assassin. That kind of burst only works from afar. Getting close, and he's done for. The very next second, Jiang Kai effortlessly obliterated 2 melee fighters who tried to rush him. Huang Wei choked on his own words. What? But range classes are supposed to suck at close combat. With all his enemies down, Jiang Kai strode toward Huang Wei, his gaze razor sharp. Slowly pulling out 3 flaming throwing knives, he said coldly, "So, how do you want to die?" Huang Wei panicked, stumbling backward. "No, wait. You can't kill me. If you do, this will really be a fight to the death." Staring at the panicked mess that was Huang Wei, Jiang Kai let out a cold chuckle. Slowly, he switched weapons, bringing out the same iron spike he'd used to kill Huang Wei the first time. "I was ready to let the past go, Huang Wei, but you've truly let me down. Since you insist on trying to kill me, I won't hold back. Heard you had to see a shrink after the last time I killed you? Well, guess it's time to deepen that trauma a little more." With that, the iron spike thrust forward, aimed straight for Huang Wei's head. After wiping out Huang Wei and his crew, Jiang Kai's level skyrocketed from 14 to 17. But before he could celebrate, a system alert popped up. "Warning, you've slain over 10 allied explorers. Bloodthirsty killer, penalty activated." Details followed. While in this state, your location is visible to all nearby players. If killed, you'll lose 3x the normal experience. The effect can only be removed by using 10 drops of Tears of Repentance. Jiang Kai froze. Now he understood. No wonder nobody tried farming other players despite the tempting EXP. Getting this penalty basically turned you into a walking EXP jackpot. Even worse, thanks to his double effect talent, all rewards and penalties were doubled, with a 1% chance to trigger a 10x multiplier. If he got unlucky and triggered a full 30x penalty, he could literally get wiped back to level 1. He didn't dare stay put any longer. From now on, he had to avoid crowded areas and hunt down Tears of Repentance fast. Meanwhile, at the royal camp, Huang Wei's father erupted in fury. "What? Huang Wei's dead. I already sold the idea that the 3 of us, father and sons, would fight for the nation together. Now he's dead. This makes me a laughingstock before the entire country." Huang turned to his father with a grim expression. "Father, what now?" Slamming his fist on the table, Huang Tong growled, "We go to war. We take down that king-class boss ourselves. Once we claim the kill, we'll have enough military merit to pressure the army into dropping their protection of Jiang Kai. And when that happens, I'll make him pay, painfully." Meanwhile, Jiang Kai had regrouped with his teammates. One of them eyed the glowing title above his head. Captain, what's with the new title?" Jiang Kai didn't have time to explain. "No time, just move. We can't let the royal faction find us." Just then, a thunderous war horn echoed across the land. Jiang Kai froze. "That's the battle horn? Don't tell me the royals launched the assault early?" Hu Yin pointed with urgency. "Captain, look, over there." In the distance, the frozen lake cracked open with a deafening roar. The ground trembled violently beneath their feet. Moments later, a towering iceberg erupted from the depths. Atop it, Hordes of monstrous fishmen stood lined up, their twisted faces brimming with bloodlust. The three stood frozen, stunned by the sheer scale of it all. At the peak of the ice mountain, a colossal blue-scaled fishman sat upon a throne of bones. It was the very target of the royal faction's assault, the king-class boss known as the Frost-Scale Fishman Lord. Hu Yin gulped, visibly shaken. That's the boss. He looks terrifying. Jiang Kai narrowed his eyes. Yeah, that pressure. He's insanely strong. Suddenly, a commanding roar echoed across the battlefield. Warriors, prepare yourselves. The king-class boss, the Frost-Scale Fishman Lord, has been lured out. Victory in this battle won't just bring you massive rewards. It will also help the Holy Radiance Nation claim vital territory and resources, shielding your families from the beast gods in the future. So whether for the present or the future, we must give everything we've got, even if it means death. Once a warrior draws his blade, there is no turning back. Now backslash. Let the king-class boss raid begin. With a thunderous cry, tens of thousands of adventurers surged forward toward the monstrous fishmen. One teammate pulled Jiang Kai aside. We should get out of here while we still can. Jiang Kai shook his head. No need. Once the battle starts, the royals won't have time to come after me. And hey, how often do you get to witness a full-scale boss raid like this? By now, the frontline adventurers had already reached the fishman horde, weapons raised to strike. But before they could launch their attacks, a massive shadow burst from beneath the ice. It was a level 25 bipedal fishman. The squad leader shouted, "Don't panic. It's just a big fish. There's more of us. Take it down." His words barely finished when the fishman lunged forward and swallowed him whole. A sickening crunch followed, like biting into a cracker. Silence fell as everyone stared in shock. From the sidelines, Hu Yin trembled. That was just a regular fishman, and it's that strong? Fatty added, and it feels like there's a whole lot more of them coming. Jiang Kai narrowed his eyes. According to what I've heard, so long as the boss remains alive, the fishman army will keep spawning non-stop. So the real battle isn't between 200,000 adventurers and the fishman horde. It's between the elite transcendents and that king-class boss. Suddenly, a voice crackled through the team comms. Attention, our elite squad of 8 is engaging the boss now. Hit it with everything you've got. Don't hold back. Without hesitation, all 8 transcendents launched into action, unleashing their most powerful abilities in perfect sync. In an instant, the battlefield exploded with dazzling light, shaking the very air. From the sidelines, Hu Yin and Fatty gasped in awe. That's insane. So this is what real transcendence can do? The boss is as good as dead. But Jiang Kai remained unconvinced. He activated his ghost eye skill and focused intently on the battlefield. Through his enhanced vision, he could clearly see both the boss and the transcendents mid-fight. Shockingly, their combined ultimate strike hadn't even broken through the boss's defenses. Even the 8 transcendents looked stunned, their mouths agape. What? That didn't even scratch it. The next moment, the Fishman Lord raised its massive trident, and with a single sweep, sent all 8 flying, their life signals instantly flatlining. This was the true power of a king-class boss. One strike, instant annihilation for 8 elite transcendents.